Welcome to the program. Kate, are you no longer my friend? You won't talk to me now?
She's coming in right now. Sorry about that, Henry.
Kate, what did I do? You have a friendship question. I try to talk to you. You don't return my calls. You won't speak to me.
Thank you. So I have a friend who's really struggling just emotionally, anxiety, depression, potentially a personality disorder.
How long have you been friends?
I've known her for a while, but she kind of let me in on more of her interpersonal life just in the last year. I've kind of been a mentor to her. I'm in ministry, so she's kind of part of a group that I'm in.
Okay, so hang on, Kate. Hang on. Let's get clear definitions here. Okay.
Okay.
And I want a lot of people to hear this. This is really, really important. People fit into different roles in our life. Okay. Now, a lot of people kind of don't think about this. And it's really, really important. When you say, it sounds like you got two roles going here. It sounds like maybe I'm three. You said she's my friend. I thought this was a pal, like a normal friend where you have mutual, obligations to each other, mutual commitments, mutual ways that you take care of each other, et cetera, et cetera. But then you said, I'm in ministry. And it sounds like she's kind of also, you're a shepherd and she's a sheep. Is that right?
Yeah. You're right.
Okay, so we have a dual relationship here. It's not bad, but we have a dual relationship. Now, this is why this gets really important, really, really important, because sometimes when we're in the helper role, I'm a psychologist, right? I have clients, or when I was in practice, and I'm in a different role with them than I am my friends, and we treat those scenarios very differently. And I would bet as we go forward that may be part of the problem here. You don't know what to do because you don't know what hat you're wearing. I'm going to guess that, but you go ahead.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So what's the problem?
Basically, she's very emotionally unhealthy, and I realized early on I wasn't setting good boundaries. So I've had to reevaluate several times, and I'm putting up new boundaries all the time.
What would be an example?
Like, you can't call me after 9 p.m., for example. And she called. So, no, we're not doing that anymore. I blocked her number.
And then did she, when she called after 9, you said, I asked you not to call after 9. She said, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do that anymore, or what happened?
She usually just tries to explain why she felt like she had to anyway. Or she'll text me and say,
okay, but then once she did that, what happened? Did you tell her, well, I understand you have reasons, but still it's not okay? And she said, oh, she said, okay, I'm sorry, I won't do that anymore?
No, it's more just like, I'll try, and please don't be mad at me and don't leave me. So, but she's...
Was she calling you as her friend or as her minister?
Both. She has told me she would rather us be friends, but I've told her that's not the primary relationship.
Oh, good. Okay, so you've kind of defined that.
Sure. And I even told her a couple of days ago, I want to be more like a coach type of person spiritually for you, and she didn't like that.
Okay.
So basically,
if she doesn't like it, she can find another coach that she likes.
Right. So my fear, I guess, is that like if she keeps spiraling out every time I set boundaries, and then she tells me, she just reacts horribly. And my fear is that it's like going to reconfirm all the fears she has already. Like, see, people always leave me and you're going to leave me or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I probably am just too nice or something, but I don't want to be a person that leaves her when she feels like that's what everybody does. Everyone always leaves me and now you're going to leave me. And in my mind, I'm like, I do want to leave you. I want to leave badly. I don't want to be in your life anymore. but I feel like I can't say that, or maybe she'll, cut herself or kill herself or something.
Is she suicidal?
She's thought about it, but I don't think she would actually do it. She's cut herself.
Does she have a psychologist or a psychiatrist that she's working with?
Her psychiatrist seems terrible. And then she also sees a counselor, and she's in a recovery program at church. She's doing all the things, but nothing is helping her. Nothing's working because she's just a victim all the time. So.
Well, exactly. And she's hooked you, and now you're the victim because you're powerless.
Yeah.
I mean, you just told me I can't do anything. I can't say this. I can't say that. I can't see. Now the victim, and this is classic, the victim has become the perpetrator. It's called the tyranny of the weak, right? So she's so weak that now she has all the power. Right?
Right. And every time I try to reassert my own boundaries or power, then she says, "You're hurting my feelings. You're so mean," all this stuff.
Right. So of course she does. Of course she does. That's what a personality disorder does. But see, that's not.
No one will tell her she has that. No one will tell her she has a personality disorder.
No
one has told her she has a personality.
It doesn't. That doesn't matter. Look.
Okay.
If telling her she has a personality disorder is not going to make it go away. All right.
Okay.
Not. I gotta get this sentence right. Let's put it a different way. Going soft on the boundaries is not going to cure her propensity to feel victimization or abandonment. And that's the hook, right? You feel like you can't tell her anything, or she goes all bad, or she acts out, or whatever. And that's just part of the drama cycle that keeps people hooked. Okay. So the big instance here, and I'm really glad you called, Kate, because I think a lot of people probably find themselves in this scenario. Okay. And when you told her, you said, I think we need to define our relationship here. I've kind of been friend and I've been ministry leader to you, and I really don't want to do both, but I will continue to be the ministry leader and for the group. Okay. But the group has certain ground rules, and here's the ground rules. You can't call me at home. If we're going to talk, we talk when we meet in the group, and this, that, and the other, and you set those ground rules, and those are the boundaries. That's normal. Okay. Now your fear is that she's going to react to that, right?
Yeah. She has. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me experience it. I'm going to be you and you be her. And you say, Susie, we've had, we've kind of been friends, and I'm kind of your ministry leader. It's getting a little confusing to me. So I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to limit our relationship to the ministry time. And we'll talk there, and we'll be in the group, and I'll help you as much as I can. But that's kind of what I have the time and energy for right now in my life. And so, and the ground rules of the group, we talk in the group, it's confidential. We don't say things about each other in other places and whatever. So I hope that's acceptable to you, but that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
And you be her. We're role playing.
She would say something.
I'm you. No, don't say she would say. I want you to be her. I want to experience the wrath of Katie. I'm sorry, the wrath of Susie. You're Katie. Okay.
You don't want to be my friend anymore. Does that mean I can't ever call you ever again?
Well, I don't know.
It feels like you're mad.
It feels what?
It feels like you're mad at me.
Well, actually, sort of a little bit. I have gotten mad a few times because I've asked you, when we have been friends, I've asked you to not do certain things, and you do them anyway. And that's not what I really want in a friendship. It's not how my other friends and I operate. And so I do think the friend thing's not going to work. You're right about that. And so, but I would like to be your ministry leader. We could do that.
That's not what I want. I want you to
Okay,
be
well
my friend.
I understand, and I would think this might feel really crummy to you or whatever, but it's just not something that I want to do right now. I just said I don't have the time and energy. I got a lot. There's a lot of reasons. Doesn't matter. Um, but I know that's not what you want. But that is what I'm willing to do. And if you would like that, it's available to you. You don't have to. You could join another group or whatever. But it's up to you.
Well, I think it's probably not worth me trying to be friends with anybody then.
Well,
I should just be alone for the rest of my life.
That's an option. You
And
could do that.
I can't trust you.
I wouldn't suggest it. I don't know anybody that's ever done that where it was healthy. I think you need friends. I think you need this group. I think the group could help you. And if not this group, another one. But certainly you could choose whatever you want to. But I don't think that's a good idea.
I thought I could trust you and you were going to be there for me.
Well, I think you can trust me to tell you the truth, and I think you can trust me to give you very clear expectations of what I can do and what I won't do, what I will do and won't do, and I will follow through on those. If by trust you mean that I'll do whatever you need or want me to do, then I don't think you can trust me to do that. But you can trust me to be honest with you and tell you what I will do, and I'll follow through on what I promised you I'll do.
Okay.
Katie, it's a problem when people don't like our boundaries, right? And see this, I don't know her, so I can't. I mean, it sounds like kind of a classic kind of personality disorder, but she just, I don't know. I don't know her. But I do know this, what you described are manipulative patterns that hook people who don't have good boundaries. And here's what I also know about the other side. The only way that people with those patterns ever get well is when they have a counselor, usually, who sticks to the boundaries. Because then that person internalizes those boundaries and it becomes internal structure inside of their head. I mean, if you take, for example, extreme borderline personality disorders, the only psychologists that are ever successful, and we do have success. You've heard borderline people can't be treated. Absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. But it's hard for them a lot of times to find a counselor who's strong enough to handle them and doesn't give in to all the manipulation and the suicide, dramatic, stuff and all of that. And the counselor, because those things get serious. We have to keep somebody alive, right? But all of the threats and all the drama and all that, if that has the power, then that has the power in the person's life too. So that's why limits and boundaries are very, very, very important. It's the same reason why you can't have a toddler tear the house apart. They never learn any self-control if we don't have good boundaries.
She does act like a child most of the time.
Right. So I would say this, look, you have to define in your friendships, how do your friendships work? Do people respect your boundaries in your friendships? Let's just treat her as a friend. Okay. We could be friends if you respect my boundaries. We can go that route if you want to. Don't call me after 9. Don't threaten suicide. If you do, I'll call 911. All of that, whatever the boundaries are, we could do that, but I'm going to keep the boundaries. See, what you're saying, Kate, is it gets hard because when you have a boundary, she starts to manipulate that, and that's where you're getting hooked. And that's what I'd like for
Right.
you to, that's what I want to help you with, rescue you from, because it's not ever going to help
Right.
her. All right. Have you
Yeah.
read Boundaries, by the way?
I have. It's been a while. I need to read it again.
Yeah, I'd go read it again. I mean, it's very simple. You know, if you have a friend that says, you say, don't call me after 9, they call you after 9. You say, I ask you not to call me after 9. And they say, what did they say? Oh, well, but, I say, well, okay, but do you understand? I don't talk on the phone after 9. It's not personal. I just don't want to do that. Can you abide to that? Or can you not show up at my door drunk? Or can you not, whatever it is, you would have
Right.
these in, you would have these in any kind of relationship. I hope you'd have good boundaries where you wouldn't let people treat you badly.
Totally.
Okay?
So can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah, if it's quick, I got some people waiting, but go
So
ahead.
like
Go quickly.
if there's no other time that I would usually see her, if I give her that like kind of ultimatum between what kind of relationship we would have, like I may not see her very much anymore because I'm kind of like over the ministry. I'm not directly in a group with her.
Oh, okay.
That's just, is that just like that's just how it is, and maybe I just need to move on from this relationship with her?
Well, Kate, it's up to you. There is no that's how it is. Look, here's your options. You can have her move in with you and you can bottle feed her 24 hours a day if you want to. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
Do you get my point? You could carry her around in a
Yeah.
stroller. You can you can get rid of everything else in your life except her, because that's what she would actually probably maybe want, right? You can go from there all the way to, Susie, we've tried being friends. I've tried to be your ministry leader. Each time it seems like the requirements that I have for those are very frustrating to you and you don't want to abide with them. So as I think about it, um, it's probably best if we just move on in our separate ways. Okay, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I want to. That's what I want to do. So my point, Kate, is this: you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you that what you can't have an option where you do what you want and she's going to like it.
Right.
That's not an option.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Everybody's got to learn this lesson at some point. So, and by the way, this goes without saying, I know you will as administrator, make sure she's safe. If you're worried about her, call her counselor, call her psychiatrist, say, I'm worried, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But that's their role. That's why they're in her life. They're professionals. They're trained to be able to deal with this. But I do want to make sure worrying about her safety is a good thing. It's just not your role to have to carry that whole burden.